everybody. So welcome back to Marketing Funneldementals. I have a really funny episode for you guys today because I'm going to talk about what happened when I tried to get cheap engagement. Don't go anywhere. Cheers to all you marketers, the entrepreneurs and the solopreneurs trying to figure it out all on your own. Get ready to deep dive into Marketing Funneldementals, the most important area of any business, because marketing done correctly makes the sale long before anyone even takes their wallet out. Are you ready to tackle this podcast and use the information to explode your marketing like Mentos in a Coke bottle? I'm Melissa Schaefer, and dude, let's do this. Hey, so welcome to Marketing Funneldementals. Today I'm going to do, my episode's going to be really funny. I have to tell you guys a really funny story. So, basically, to give you a little preface, sorry, I'm driving, by the way, but, and don't worry, I'm hands-free, but, so I was trying to launch a free web class, and I only had a week to do it. So one of the things about like the Facebook algorithm is like when things are like liked and commented and shared, they they get, if I only had a day to get like a ton of engagement and then I needed to promote it to people that I wanted to see it, like there was only like a couple options for me here. So I don't know if you guys follow like Kevin David or any of these like YouTubers that put out like the free content on Facebook ads, but so one of the things that a couple people have said, like, I'm not, and this is definitely not like blaming somebody for giving me bad advice, it's just hindsight's always 20/20, so keep that in mind. So I actually their advice is to first, before you promote it in the US, promote it to like India or the Philippines or Pakistan. Like basically there's a bunch of countries you can promote your ads to that those people like everything. They and you can get a ton of engagement for and I'll tell you right now, I spent $10 for the results of the story I'm about to tell you. $10. So and it's been insane. It's been absolutely insane. But not in the way I really wanted it to. So we'll get into that in a second. So, but anyway, there's a bunch of countries you can promote to that you can get really cheap engagement, really cheap likes. And hey, when I heard that, I was like, that's really awesome, because you can literally then promote something that has 500 likes, multiple shares, and you've already you spent some money up front just for the engagement piece, because the algorithm is zeros and ones. It's not some person going, oh, I like this ad, oh, I don't like that ad. It's zeros and ones. It's literally based off of what social proof is telling the algorithm. And so basically so I'm about to launch this web class. I have zero time to do it in. So I am, so I go, okay, I call back on this information that I, picked up from, somebody who's very successful in the space. It's not like it's bad advice, but, it also this is kind of an important piece. It was also from a dude. So, I go and I spend my $10, or I set up my $10 ad, for 24 hours of engagement. I think I targeted Pakistan, the Philippines, and one other one. It doesn't really matter at this point what I targeted. So I had a video, and I was promoting the topic of what the web class was about. And in the video, and I'll say this right now, when I went to go create the video, I was wearing this really tight tank top, and I was I even had this thought. I was well, that's not really appropriate. I'm not, that's not the point. I'm not trying to get people to listen to me because of being a female, being blonde, being a woman, being any of that crap. No. And so I went and put a baggy shirt on freaking purpose. I wasn't wearing makeup, for the record. I mean, I don't really wear makeup anyway, but I was wearing no makeup. And so I basically I go and I make this video, promote this video. We've got my $10 ad running, and what happens? Every single comment And I got a bunch of likes and I got a bunch of shares, and that's cool too. But every single comment is like, you're beautiful. I got proposed to multiple times. Like there's like I've got, and now I have like at least like 20 people, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like it's like honestly freaking ridiculous. Like I don't even understand why any of these people think that this is a legit way to like approach a person. Like if you're talking, even if we are talking about like I promoted it in the US and like everybody on the feed's like, oh, and it's a business page. Like, let's be real, when you go on the page, it's very real. It's very like, it's a business page. Like there's a bunch of videos about marketing and like, it's just not, basically I'm not trying to be a model. This is not, and not even that I think I could be a model. It's just, and actually, side note, if you want some unsolicited ego boosting, freaking run your ads in Pakistan. But basically every person that responded in the comments, they were like, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, and there's some that are like, nice video. There's some that say like funny, and I appreciate those comments. And then there's like at least 10 comments with phone numbers on them, which are Pakistani phone numbers. So like when you're in the United States and you see an ad and there's a bunch of zeros before a phone number, you're like, what? So, so long story short, I had to go through, and delete all the irrelevant comments, which was frustrating for me for a couple reasons. One, because that was not the point of the video. They obviously didn't watch it. They looked at it, but they didn't actually listen to what I was saying, which is really frustrating. And the second thing is, it's a waste of money. I was like, granted it was $10, but still, it was a waste of money because in hindsight, it's always 2020. It's kind of like the bitch slap of life. Excuse my French. But, the second one is it ended up being a waste of time, a waste of money. And I'm not going to like delete the video or anything because I actually think that the ad is good. I think the ad's worth watching. The ad has like 24 hours in Pakistan, it has like 32,000 views. Like, it's fucking crazy. Well, that was a really big French word, but it's crazy the kind of engagement that I got, but not the point at all. And anyway, so I thought it was a really funny story because hindsight's always 2020, but like all I was doing was like following following advice of somebody on YouTube that, this guy sells courses, and it's not just him. I have heard a couple of people say this. I've heard a couple of people advise, like, to get some engagement on your ad before you run, like, an ad to it. Like, it's not, and that's, logically to me, that makes tons of sense. Why wouldn't you run an ad to something that already has likes, that already has comments, that already has shares? Because the Facebook algorithm is computer code is ones and zeros. It's going to see one ad that has 12 shares and it's going to see another ad that has 0 shares, and it's literally a matter of numbers at that point. It's like, okay, people clearly like this. It's been shared a bunch of times. However, I will say, if you're a female and you're trying to get cheap engagement, I do not recommend Pakistan. I have people messaging me being like, come to Pakistan. I'm like, you do not, like, and this really takes the cake for me. So I was a bartender for a really long time, and I originally had zero problem with, using my female genetics to, if men were dumb enough to give me money just because I was a female, then that was their problem. Definitely not mine. And I had a horse to feed. Those fuckers eat a lot. Okay, I'm swearing a lot in this episode. Clearly, I'm really worked up. But I'm gonna have to say explicit content. But clearly, I was willing to compromise, like, my morals and my beliefs because I needed the money, and because I really do believe, like, if an old man is dumb enough to, like, think that giving me, like, extra money and a tip is gonna, like, change my mind, like, that's definitely his problem, not mine. And so I had zero problem being that person, or, like, just taking that money and being like, hey, thanks, have a nice day, see you tomorrow. However, when I got older, you know, I got really tired of that game. Like, honestly, I got really sick of it. And the part about this that's so frustrating is I'm having bartending flashbacks because, you know, like, in customer service, you're not allowed to be like, no creep, like, back off. Like, you can't say that. Partly because they'll take the money away, and also partly because you're in customer service, and everybody loves the whole customer's always right thing, even though I do not agree with that statement at all. The point is that now I'm, like, on my, like, I've had to, like, respond to people where I'm like, this is a business page, like, please stop asking me on a date. Like, it seems like I shouldn't have to be saying that to people. Like, if I had, like, a modeling page, or if I had, like, some sort of, like, public figure page, like, I would understand if, like, there's, like, somebody reaching out in that sense. Like, I do, you know, like, celebrities, I'm sure, and I'm sorry, this is not me calling myself a celebrity. This is more just analyzing, like, you know, like, I'm sure celebrities all the time get people asking them out, like, complimenting. I'm sure, I mean, anybody listening to this, like, obviously, like, that just makes, that's, like, common sense. However, I will say that, like, being, like, a female, like, businesswoman and having to, like, deal with it like that, like, granted, you know, half you guys are gonna sit there thinking, like, well, you did it to yourself, and you are right. Every single one of you that just thought that, you're 100% right. However, it wasn't necessarily something I planned on doing. So basically, I wanted to make this video as a maybe a little bit of a combatant, but also as a warning, as a tale of, okay, like, I tried to do, and, you know, like, let's say, like, the saying, like, cheaters never prosper. I don't necessarily think that it was cheating to try and get some cheap engagement, but in terms of what I was trying to get cheap engagement on, it definitely did not work the way I wanted it to. So my cautionary tale is this. If you're a female and you think it's a good idea to try and get cheap engagement, one, I highly recommend you do not target Pakistan. I'm not really sure, like, I would have to go look into, like, the demographics of, like, which countries really were, like, the worst in terms of, like, you know, because, you know, getting video views, like, is one thing, you know, but, like, the comments and the numbers and the freaking, and, sorry, I have one more thing. And this is the best part. So, like, if you're like, if you have a business page, like, you're rated on your response rate. And I'm looking into, like, chatbots and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just, you know, it takes a long time to learn stuff. So I want to make sure I understand it before I implement it. And so I'm having to respond to people, like, directly. And I actually don't really have a problem with that. However, half the time all of the time right now that I'm responding is like, sir, this is a business page. Like, can you please stop sending me, like, pictures of yourself? Like, just seems like something I shouldn't have to be doing. But anyway, so my cautionary tale is, if you are looking for cheap engagement and you're a female, I'm sure males do not have, I mean, well, I'm not saying that, you know, there aren't a bunch of, you know, gay men in Pakistan that are, like, openly willing to, like, propose to you, but I would say it's probably more female oriented. But if you are looking for cheap engagement, I highly recommend you do not go for, like, those countries. Like, while, like, if you're running, or you know what I was just thinking? Or if you do it, turn off your comments. Turn off the capability of them commenting on the video, because then all they can do is like it, share it, and view it, which will up your engagement without the crap. It's crap. It's total freaking crap. I am definitely gonna have to say this episode was explicit in terms of language. But I will say that it was a very frustrating lesson to learn, and also, like, I'm not going to like shut my page down or start over or anything, like, so I'm gonna have to do some cleanup. And I may be a female, but I hate cleaning up. All right, well, that's all. I'm done with my rant. If you've experienced any of this kind of stuff, I'd love to hear from you, because I honestly, hindsight's always 2020. I didn't think this was going to happen, and it did anyway. So I'd love to hear your guys' war stories about, things in advertising that like didn't go the way you thought they would, or like, basically hindsight's 2020. Like, I'm sure everybody's got their own war stories, so I'd love to hear them in the comments. So yeah, I don't know where you're listening to this, if it's YouTube, if it's the actual podcast, or even on Facebook. Yeah, comment below, and I look forward to talking to you guys. All right, until next time. Hopefully next time I have some better Facebook ad stories for you. Thank you for joining. As always, I've had a blast with you guys. So if you enjoyed as well, like, subscribe, share, comment. I'd love to hear from you. For more marketing fundamentals, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, as a podcast, and also at marketingfunneldementals.com. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Bye, guys.